When I first heard of Atomfall, there was already some interest in this project. A lot of it comes from the developer's history. For me, if you can build up enough credit, then I am willing to go in a different direction if that's where you want to take your next game. Sort of like Rebellion has been on this steady, consistent level of quality. I wouldn't say that they make revolutionary games. You won't see that thrown around, especially from the games media people. But I will say that Rebellion makes incredibly very gamey and especially fun games. That's exactly what I want and prefer. Not everything has to be the next best thing. Sometimes we just need something consistent to look forward to and then play. I say this from their work on the Sniper Elite games, Zombie Army, Strange Brigade, and all of that. One of my favorite developers, and I'm glad that they keep going on with their established series too. But at the same time, they wanted to pivot and try something different. Now this is more of a calculated risk, something outside of their comfort zone as it would appear. It's not like Rebellion went into making an always online multiplayer game or something like that, but rather a single player survival kind of experience, something with influences from Fallout, Stalker, Metro, and maybe even touches of BioShock. After beating Atomfall, and I reflect on it now, I think Rebellion managed to deliver. There's a lot of familiar stuff here too, with other elements impressing. It's a worthy pivot, something new done in a good way. Atomfall is what I wanted, and then some.
Don't do anything stupid. You wanna what? Bloody right. Help me! Keep your head up, you really hurt!
Come on, you!
Let's just start off with probably the best aspect to this game. The exploration and discovery is where Atomfall truly succeeds. If you want a game that allows the player to truly take in a space, explore, and then have that satisfying sense of discovery, then just go and pick this game up. This is not a title where you are restricted on where to go and what to do. Instead, it's a lot of what's over there, I wonder what I'll find. How will this interaction affect other elements in the game? Seeing what's out there, the choices you can make. It all has this appearance of having weight with everything you do. There are quests to complete in the game, but these are more so done as leads. You have an objective, different ones as you explore, and then as you find or earn new pieces of information, the leads will then expand and you'll get closer to those answers. The interesting part about this is how leads can then branch off into other leads, sort of like a quest that then forks into a quest that you were just working on and now you have a new one to also do too. Add on to this is the hands-off nature to the game. You can choose to have some assistance markers on if you want. Again, it's all up to the player, but you can be completely left alone in this world, even needing to really rely on that map to discover your next set of leads. This makes the game and its world all feel very organic, with how things weave and work with each other. And you never really know what you're going to find. That might be a new lead you found, or some evidence that relates to something else, which then puts you in a situation where you can earn some useful items, or even unlock paths of your skill trees that you haven't had access to before. Blended in with this is the nook and cranny design too, where you want to try and grab everything you can. You want to keep your supplies up. What's out there? What are those threats? Many times you don't know what you're going to be up against, and you just want to be ready. Leads, hands-off nature, discovery, actual exploration, and all of that. Atomfall simply excels in all of these areas, so much so it makes me want to go back through it. The limited inventory space is key in how you approach the game. You want to carry more stuff, but this area of the game never expands. Again, what will you be taking with you to keep you strong enough to survive, along with room to then find additional and better pieces of equipment. You can upgrade your weapons, choose what sort of style you want to go for, more direct or more stealth. Generally, outside of the bow, stealth is not really fleshed out as much as I wished it was, but the gunfights are rather enjoyable, with satisfying impact and sound. The same with the melee, with even options to throw many of your weapons at your enemies. I mainly stuck with the firearms. Circling back to the organic feeling to the exploration and discovery is that there are often multiple ways to then find the same thing or even achieve the same objective, but it depends on which route you take. Look at the signal detector, a useful piece of equipment, but there isn't just one way to obtain it. The thrill of finding a new cave never gets old. Sometimes there's surprises with character interactions, and this then makes me want to try the game all over again. Try something different out. You can get an answer, not all of them, but in the case of the story, it's enjoy the ride and get less focused on the actual destination. There are a few things that I wish Atomfall had that felt like they were missing. I think the game should have had some sort of lean function or peek option to enhance the stealth side of things. Also, an option to move the bodies would be appreciated. You can cheese a bunch of the enemies in the game. While some might not like this, I actually found it kind of charming with that jank kind of feeling to it. I think the druid combat is rather flawed. These enemies mostly fight with bows and melee weapons. If you go into their area with a firearm, you'll feel like Indiana Jones from Raiders where he takes on the swordsman. It feels almost that broken. I think if the druids had more enemy types that could honestly tank a bunch of your shots, that would have helped a bit, or something like that. I think much of everything goes back to the exploration, which the game excels at, and it's such a strong component of this title. But don't just take my word for it. Here is a friend of the channel, Deadforge, for his comments on Atomfall as well. Also, please subscribe to his channel too.
Atomfall is the result of passionate developers being given the opportunity to allow players to have full freedom and player agency in their actions and their choices, as well as the consequences that come after. Atomfall is much like other great games along those lines. Games that give you player agency, games that allow you to make choices that have consequences, that allow you to choose how you play, to be strategic, and have a world that is so interesting and intriguing that it makes you never want to stop playing it. It's wrapped to perfection in this very tightly crafted, dense, open world setting, very bite-sized RPG, much like The Outer Worlds, a game maybe akin to Prey in certain areas, but not quite RPG, not quite immersive sim. Elements of something like a Fallout New Vegas, but not quite the same amount of depth, but it's definitely there. There's so many more things that you can do and say that have a consequence both narratively, in the world, the characters, and the dialogue. It makes something like Avowed look elementary. Avowed may be a fun adventure game, but Atomfall is a damn fine video game. An RPG experience. Choice and consequence galore. It's an experience like no other. Atomfall is what happens when a studio takes a giant leap of faith and lands directly in the hay bale, unscathed, and says go for it. They crafted a beautiful world around a nuclear incident that is very rarely known about. A Stalker or Fallout-like approach to a post-apocalyptic world heavily inspired by the works of H.P. Lovecraft, and especially The Color Out of Space. It's probably the most British game I've ever played outside of We Happy Few. And giving the player the option to choose how they want to play, what kind of weapons they want to use, whether they want to kill people or don't want to kill people, whether they want to kill everybody, you can still beat the game because there is a failsafe. Every game that gives you the option to kill everybody has some failsafe, right? So, in given that opportunity and given that choice, and the ways that that can play out, or the ways that you choose to explore, it's a game that you could beat in 5 hours, you could beat it in 10, 15, or maybe 20 plus. But it gives the player the sense of freedom, sense of agency, that their choices matter, that the consequences are real, and it really does play out that way. It really does feel that way. No matter what you do, no matter what quest you take, it's always interesting. It's always exciting, always making you think, and almost be a detective at times. Piecing together information, the game stays so vague from beginning to end. Even the end is vague. It is so much, and it is so little, yet it is a complete package. It is the perfect kind of video game, and it's a style of game that we need more of.
I had the confidence that Rebellion could deliver on being able to provide us with something special, and with Atomfall, they very much succeeded. It's a game that I finished within 15 to 20 hours, and it's a title that is already pulling me back in to give it a second go, and see how differently things can go, what I miss, maybe different choices I can make, and what consequences those story events have, along with how I decide to tackle a particular area. I think there is room for an Atomfall too, and I hope this ends up doing well because Rebellion more than showed that they expanded their wheelhouse. They were able to deliver on something special. I have a lot of praise for this title, and I highly recommend it. What are your thoughts on Atomfall? Have you played it? Did it deliver for you? Also, please subscribe to Dead Forge's channel as well. And thank you very much for watching. If you're interested in supporting the channel, please check out my Patreon page. For just $1 a month, you can help to keep this channel going strong, and this allows me to be able to do more for my awesome audience. Please check out the links in the description and pinned comment for ways to support the channel. And most of all, thank you very much for watching.